do it. Good luck, everyone. Take care.
All right.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you. Okay, we are now back from executive session. The next portion of our agenda is board correspondence. The board did receive email correspondence from a staff member expressing her concerns about reopening. Dr. Jewett's going to address the reopening and what's going on in her comments. And I did respond and indicate that the staff member's email was being presented to the administration, who takes into account all these issues. So that's all we had with board correspondence.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I don't see our student reps on here yet. They may just be watching via YouTube because they don't have a report to give. So I know Carly
okay.
emailed me. Susan, is Jed going to just watch via YouTube?
Hold on.
It's very convenient.
Yes, he's watching on YouTube.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I have a few things that I want to provide updates on. With regard to our return to hybrid instruction on December 10th, which is this Thursday, I just want to talk a little bit more about our decision to go fully remote and our decision to return. So the action to go 100% remote was a precautionary measure taken in collaboration with our local health official and the New Jersey Department of Health guidelines, which changed prior to us going remote as a result of our region being classified as orange, which means that there's high COVID activity. And so our decision to go remote it was not because we had rampant transmission in the district or evidence of that. It was a proactive measure taken to prevent potential school community spread. And what changed specifically is that anyone who was experiencing COVID symptoms, in the past, we would not treat them as a positive COVID case, because they would get a test, they would wait for those results. But because our region was classified as orange, anyone who has those symptoms, we now have to consider as presumed positive. And so we do the same contact tracing we would do for a positive individual. And the other key piece of information that we look for is for them to identify a source of exposure. And we had more than a couple of cases where they could not identify a specific source of exposure for their symptoms, whether they actually, were COVID symptoms or not. If they were COVID-like symptoms and they could not identify a source, that's what caused us to consult with our health official and make a decision to go fully remote. The other piece of information I just want to clarify, one positive case of COVID could cause anywhere from several people to 20 to 30 people to be on that close contact list who have to quarantine. So when, rumors start to spread about how many people have been excluded from school, what's been happening is I think then people post on social media that there are, 20 to 30 cases of COVID in the school, which is not accurate at all. And so I just want to highlight that one positive case of COVID can result in numerous people being excluded from school. That does not mean we have numerous cases. And so I would ask for your help, and this is out to the entire community, of not posting misinformation on social media, because it causes unnecessary panic and fear and a lot of misinformation out there. I do encourage you to reach out to our health office. And, while we can't share with you confidential information, we can certainly provide you with clarifying information to make sure that you have accurate information. And it's only from the help of our community and of our parents and students who have been, and our staff who have been reporting to us their COVID-like symptoms or their test results, that we've been able to make all of these decisions in the best interest of the health and safety of our school community. So your cooperation is really paramount with regard to this. Now, we are planning on returning to our hybrid model on Thursday. Our region is still in the orange categorization. So what that means is everyone needs to be prepared for us to potentially have to enact the same 14-day closure again. It could be this month, it could be next month, but just expect that, as a possibility. And if we're, able to open for to go back to our hybrid model for, another month or two before we would have to do that again, whether it's a matter of days before we determine we have to do that again. We have collectively made the decision that as long as it's safe to do so, we do want students in school when possible, because we do feel that that is the best for their academic and their social and emotional wellness. And that is something, that the administration and the board have talked about extensively, but we will only do that when we can determine that it is safe to do so. And that is why we have conversations with our local health officials multiple times in any given week. So please know, that we continue to have everyone's health and safety at the forefront of all of our decisions, and we will keep you updated. But I am looking forward to having our students return on Thursday. Okay, the second item that I would like to provide some additional context to is our utilization of Gaggle I guess it's in support of our utilization of Go Guardian, which we have been utilizing for the past 5 years. And I know that when we sent out the notification, which it really doesn't change the monitoring that we're doing of our Google accounts, but because we are using a different provider for it, we didn't feel that we should implement it without letting the community know. But I think it raised some folks' levels of concern because, they may not have been attuned to what we have been doing for the past 5 years. And it is something that is in the acceptable use agreement that parents and students sign off on. And normally when we roll out things like this, we would roll them out at the beginning of the year. However, given the social and emotional toll that the pandemic and that virtual learning is taking on, our entire school community, in addition to other schools, and the fact that so much of our communication now is electronic rather than in person, we felt it would be irresponsible to put it off until September, just because it's easier to roll things out at the beginning of a school year. So I do want to clarify some things because I know there is misinformation out there on this as well. So only students' Watchung Hill's Google accounts are monitored by Gaggle, the same as was true with Go Guardian. Now that is true that if a student logs into their Watchung Hill's Google account on a personal device, yes, the software still works on their personal device in terms of monitoring their Watchung Hill's Google account. But anything else they are doing on their personal device, we have absolutely no oversight of, no monitoring of, no data that we're capturing. It's just the Watchung Hill's Google account. The data is not shared with any third party. And the main advantage of Gaggle over Go Guardian is that rather than purely relying on artificial intelligence to filter and pull out what might be seen as areas of concern, there are actual human beings that are reviewing what is flagged. So if a student is doing research for a health class and they're doing a search on substance abuse or on suicide, in the past that would have been flagged, it would have been sent to an administrator and would have been looked into. Now the Gaggle representative is able to actually look at the context of what, when a term gets flagged, so if a student's looking up suicide, the Gaggle representative will be able to look and see that it's for an assignment the student's working on. And so it would not progress any further than that. However, if there's a student that is, if there's something in writing that they're emailing to a friend that they're expressing, unfortunately, they're expressing a need for help or assistance and something that could indicate harm to themselves or others, that is something that we would get alerted to and we would be able to intervene. And I do want to say that Go Guardian, in terms of identifying these types of, of areas of concern or things that we may, that we may want to outreach to a student for, it has been an effective tool in us proactively providing support to students before anything has escalated. And so if our implementation of Go Guardian and or Gaggle prevents even one student from harming themselves or somebody else, I will continue to stand behind our implementation and use of those tools. And one other thing that I just want to clarify, I know if you Google Gaggle, it will say that they contact the police. That is not our protocol in our district that we set up with Gaggle. They have a list of administrators that they reach out to. They reach out to the first one. If for some reason they can't reach the first one, they reach out to the second one. The only instance they would reach out to the police is if they can't reach anyone on that list of administrators and they feel that a student or students are in imminent danger because of what they viewed. So I just want to make that clear to everyone. And the goal of this software is 100% for student safety. It's not because, we want to be big brother monitoring what students are doing. It is 100% for student safety to help us identify and intervene early if we believe a student needs additional social emotional support. And then the last item I want to just provide a brief update on tonight's agenda, you will see our 2020-2025 strategic plan on there for approval. And so once that's approved, the next steps that we will be embarking on is to develop activities for the objectives outlined in the plan. And the staff, I think, has already been alerted to this by our administrators and by their supervisors. And so we will be reaching out to staff to form those action teams in the coming weeks. And just so the board is aware, and everyone else who's listening, our timeline for getting those action items outlined is the end of January, early February. So that's what we are looking at to get this done. And that is everything I have in my report. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to kind of echo the comments concerning the reopening of school and just remind everyone that our top priority is the health and safety of the school community and that all decisions are made in conjunction with our health professionals, but that the second priority that's very high as well is in-person instruction for our students because, we've made great strides towards that effect and the impact we're seeing in terms of the students being able to have access to their teachers in person and whatever little bit of, socialization in person that's available to them in school is important, and having a routine where they get up and get out of the house is important. So that's the second issue that we always try to keep in our sites as well. And I thank everyone for their cooperation with regard to providing the data we need in terms of these few days before we reopen to have put in, whether or not there's anybody with symptoms, both staff and students, so that the administration has as much information as they can for Thursday. All right, so the next part is business administrators' comments.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 4 things to go through. Much more for me than usual, right? So number 1 is a very positive thing, construction update. We did pass our final inspection on the new learning commons and the South Building electrical upgrades, which isn't as fun, but it passed inspection final. We're awaiting our CO, but we're all set, ready to roll. We have a few minor tweaks in the furniture, but essentially it's all there. And it coincides with, if you look at the bill list was large. We had a short-term no payment, or 1-year payment of just a little less than $4 million on that bill list, which we made in December. By the way, we made it with capital reserve and debt service aid. So we did not add $1 to the taxpayers, not one. We used our own money and state money. So it's actually nice that it coincided like that. The project was within budget. It went a little longer than we had hoped, but honestly, no one's using that space right now anyway. So we had a little bit of a break there. But at the end of the day, kudos to the architect, Chris Bick and his team, and the Warren Code officials for being tough but fair. They always are. Second thing I wanted to update the board on is the bipolar ionization units. We did receive 75 units. Our guys are putting them in as we speak. We're about halfway through. So we're in the 30s somewhere. Within another week and a half, they plan on having all 75 in, and the paperwork is down at the state. We're waiting for state approval on the bigger units. Just an FYI, on the Learning Commons, the new rooftop units, we are installing bipolar units on those. In fact, any units that we have that are new, we're installing them on there. In fact, it's easier to do when we do the construction. So that was all good. We had a meeting today with our energy savings company, Honeywell. They were in today. They were reviewing parts of the building. And one of the things that was on our agenda is the RFP process for the solar PPA. Essentially, I know it's a very long resolution, and Peter had asked a question about it. So essentially what that is it's an RFP to select a company to work with our architect and Honeywell to design the solar. And what the PPA company does is they really front the money and we get the savings, excuse me, the savings from the electricity from the solar. And right now those prices are very, very good. That's why we're kind of jumping on it quick. Now the board's involvement is the same as selecting the ESCO. So I was hoping to select a committee similar to what we did with the ESCO to select one of these solar companies and go through a very similar process. We can interview them if we wish. We can just review the RFPs, which however we want to do it. But yeah, the board will definitely be involved in that process. And that's number 3. And number 4, just wanted to actually piggyback on something Dr. Jewett said and Rita said. So anticipating that we were opening our school on Thursday, our maintenance and custodial group, I don't know if you remember the board, if the board remembers, back in late spring, early summer, we bought electrostatic cleaners. So they're like sprays. So we had our staff spray, disinfect and sanitize every classroom and every bathroom. And they're going to work on the offices tomorrow. So, we're cleaning and making sure that everybody feels comfortable. We're going overboard on the cleaning and the sanitizing. So, and that's it, Madam President.
Thank you. Okay, we are now moving on. We don't have student representative comments, you told me, okay. So we have the recognition of retiring staff members, which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, right?
Yes, I'm going to let them in right now.
Okay. And just the context of, we normally do this at the end of the year, but we were doing this mid-year. I think you had indicated.
So we do have a number of mid-year retirees that we generally do not have. And so we thought, that we would honor them in the middle of the year too, before they go off gallivanting on whatever extravagant plans they have for their retirement. And it might be hard to get them back in June to be able to honor them. So we thought we would honor them now. And I think I have just about all of them on.
Yeah.
Don't we normally have cake?
I know. I wish I could have
A little cake.
Yeah,
Mr. Eaton seems to be coming on twice.
he has 2, so I let him both in. And yes, please, retirees, if you don't mind, I would love for you to turn your cameras on because I am going to spotlight you while I read your resolution. Pat, it's so nice to see you. And if the rest of you wouldn't mind turning your cameras on, unless you really don't want to, I won't force you to.
Mr. Eaton.
Oh, there we go, Mr. Eaton.
He has 2, so I let him both in. And yes, please, retirees.
Oh, the streaming services.
Don't mind. I would love
You know what?
You could hear it.
I think I'm just going to mute you guys. They're so enthralled that they have us on YouTube on the delay.
Oh, somebody must have. Oh, I see what you're saying.
It was very,
Why we're hearing it twice.
yeah, nobody needs to hear me twice. Oh, there's Joan, fantastic. And Lucy and Nancy, if you would like to turn your cameras on as well. There we go. Hi, Nancy. Okay, so this is actually my last board meeting for a while before I go on leave, and I'm really, really very happy that I was able to be here tonight so that I can honor all of you. You've been such a tremendous part of our school community, and while we all wish you all well, it's a tremendous loss to our school to have you moving on. But I'm so happy for you that you can move on to. I know a lot of you have families that you're looking forward to spending time with, and grandchildren and children, and so I'm really very happy for you that while you're all still so young, you can go off and do what you would like to do in the next chapter of your life. But the resolutions that I'm reading tonight can't even begin to capture your contributions to the school, and I'm truly going to miss seeing all of you. And I really do wish you all well. And so what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to put this on speaker view, and then I'm going to spotlight each of you as I speak about you. So Pat Busby is going to be my first honoree. This proclamation regarding Patricia Busby shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Patricia Busby was first employed by Watchung Hills Regional High School on November 17th, 2012 as a family consumer science teacher, and whereas her expertise and passion for children have influenced more than 2,000 students and spanned more than 14,000 class lessons over many years. And whereas she has been instrumental in training and developing future culinary artists with her knowledge of the nutrition, world cuisine, etiquette, and culinary technique. And whereas her devotion to her students and countless preschoolers in providing a loving and nurturing experience in class. And whereas after an outstanding career as a teacher who inspired her colleagues with a zeal for growth as an educator, and who inspired her many students with her passionate engagement with her subject, she has decided to retire. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude to Patricia Busby for her 8 years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes her a happy and healthy retirement to pursue her passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. Patricia, congratulations, and you're welcome to say a few words if you would like to.
I wasn't planning on saying anything other than thank you. I appreciate your kind words and have totally enjoyed my career here.
Well, that's very obvious from how you carry yourself with your students in the school, and so we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I really wish we had cake or something to offer you.
We'll take a rain check on that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, I have Lucy Doherty. And Lucy, I'm not sure if you would like to turn your camera on. Let's see. I'm just having trouble getting the spotlight going here. Oh, I don't think I can because you don't have your.
Can she hear us?
I think, Lucy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I just don't know where the camera is.
Uh,
That's my problem. I'm looking for it. I'm sorry.
You made, you know what? Let's see, I put ask to start video. You may have a button at the bottom of your screen on the left that says start video.
Well, something just came on the screen. It says the host has asked you to start your video, and then it just says Let me see, start my video. Okay,
There you
we
are.
Okay.
Well done.
Sorry.
Oh, that's good. I'm so glad we were.
This is why I need to retire.
No, see, look at, you already just learned something new. So this is perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, hi, John.
Aye.
This proclamation regarding Lucy Doherty shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Lucy Doherty first joined Watchung Hills Regional High School as one of our most dependable volunteers in the Media Center, who was willing to shelve books, greet students, and do anything to help our Media Center run more efficiently. And whereas she was first employed in September 2007 and has served our school district as an assistant to 3 media specialists, and whereas she has been a valued and loved member of the WHRHS community who is known for her punctuality, organization, reliability, and attention to detail. And whereas she has a kind word for everyone visiting or working in the library and a positive impact on all students. And whereas her warm heart is always open, especially for our students with special needs who will miss her deeply when they come before and after school to check in next year. And whereas she is known as a loyal colleague to the administrators, teachers, and staff, and she went beyond expectation in welcoming new teachers who were assigned library duty for the first time. And whereas she modeled patience, resilience, and affability during her last 4 months of employment when she did not have a home base because the Learning Commons was under construction. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude to Lucy Doherty for her 13 years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes her a happy and healthy retirement to pursue her passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. Lucy, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We wish you well. Was there anything you wanted to share?
No,
I don't want to put you on the spot.
No, it was a wonderful time there. I did volunteer for 5 years prior to being employed. So I feel like I've been at the school for 18 years instead of 13. So it was very welcoming. I did enjoy every minute of it. And, you know, life goes on, but it's time for me to hang up the gloves, as they say. So I will miss everyone. I did enjoy everyone, and I'll have to come back and visit. And I understand I'm going to have a lot of stuff to do when I come back on Thursday in the library because a whole bunch of books need to be put back. So I'll continue.
We are milking you for all we can before you leave us, Lucy. So great. Well,
Happy to do it.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next up is Mr. Eaton. This proclamation regarding Douglas Eaton shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Douglas Eaton was first employed by Watchung Hills Regional High School in 2011 as a teacher of the Theater Arts and Cinema Studies, and whereas he has served as the advisor for the Script and Q Club and International Thespian Society for many years. As the advisor, he directed, organized, and designed sets for numerous school theatrical performances. And whereas he has been instrumental in training and developing future actors with his knowledge of the theater, acting, and the art of movie making. And whereas under his tutelage, students with the passion for theater were given meaningful, authentic experiences that would serve them well in their adult life. And whereas his commitment to students and love for the theater have allowed him to spend countless hours in the Performing Arts Center rehearsing with students and working with colleagues in order to provide the community with a theater experience that often resulted in standing ovations. And whereas after serving as the theater and cinema arts teacher, the Script and Q and International Thespian Society advisor, and gaining the admiration and respect of thousands of students, hundreds of teachers, fellow administrators, and the entire Watchung Hills community, he has decided to retire. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude to Douglas Eaton for his many years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes him a happy and healthy retirement to pursue his passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. And Doug, I have to add on that my grandmother, I believe it was either after Beauty and the Beast or Guys and Dolls. I used to bring her to the musicals each year. And she looked at me and said, "This is better than Broadway." And so, and she genuinely meant that. You know, she had the best seats in the house and really just thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for giving me those memories with her.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And thanks, Liz. I'm glad she thought that. I never thought that it was as good as Broadway, but I think the kids got a feeling of Broadway, and hopefully that they were able to move on and do the things that they wanted, whether they pursued acting or not. But I appreciate everything you said, and I enjoyed thoroughly the 9 years I guess I was there, and I wish I could have extended that to another year, but just with all this that's happening, I thought it was time to move on. So if I do any theater once COVID is gone, I'll let everyone know, you know, and so that they can come and see it. And I'm glad Tim got those roof top units working. So thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Doug. Yes, and please let us know if you do any more theater.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next up we have Nancy. All right. This proclamation regarding Nancy Fishgrund shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Nancy Fishgrund has decided to retire after being a member of our Special Services Department at Watchung Hills Regional High School for 16 years, serving students with disabilities here and in previous school districts for a total of 25 years. And whereas she started her career as an outstanding general education English teacher for 8 years in New York, who has imbued her students with a love of learning. And whereas she has spent the last 16 years as an exceptional instructional aide, whose talent and commitment have enabled her to work with some of our students facing great challenges. And whereas she has served not only as an outstanding role model for all of our students, but also as an active member of the Watchung Hills community. And whereas she has served her profession and the community by her unwavering commitment to show consistency, humor, flexibility, and perseverance for students of all levels. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude to Nancy Fishgrund for her many years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes her a happy and healthy retirement to pursue her passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. Nancy, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to continue working, but this time with my 5 grandkids, and keep them on the video and virtual learning for them. So I'm still working.
That's fantastic. Nancy, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have Joan. There she is. Okay. This proclamation regarding Joan Maynor shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Joan Maynor has decided to retire after being a member of the Child Study Team at Watchung Hills Regional High School for 14 years, serving students with disabilities here and in previous school districts for a total of 37 years.
Wow.
And whereas she started her career as a special education teacher in Texas and New Jersey for 10 years, where she imbued her students with a love of learning. And whereas she has spent the last 27 years as an exceptional learning disabilities teacher consultant, whose talent and commitment have enabled her to support families with students facing academic challenges. And whereas she has served not only as an outstanding role model for all of our students, but also as an active member of the Watchung Hills community. And whereas she has served her profession in the community by her unwavering commitment to enable students to feel good about themselves, not only as learners, but as contributing members in society. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude to Joan Maynor for her many years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes her a happy and healthy retirement to pursue her passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. Thank you so much, Joan.
Thank you, Liz. I've really enjoyed my 37 years in education, and I've enjoyed my 14 years at Watchung Hills. And I think I'll enjoy retirement just as much. Thank you. It's been a real pleasure to work with all the dedicated people who work at Watchung Hills, and we all work towards the betterment and enrichment of our students. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan. We are going to miss you, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Okay, and we have one more retiree who I apologize, Bill, I don't see you in the waiting room. So hopefully you're watching this on YouTube. If not, you can rewatch it on our website when it's posted. This proclamation regarding William Mulligan shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas William Mulligan was first employed by Watchung Hills Regional High School in 2000, this says 2017. I think it might mean 2007 as a teacher of wood arts, because I know he's been here longer than that. And whereas his expertise as a teacher, knowledge of the wood arts, and ability to motivate all levels of students have made him invaluable to the school as a whole. And whereas his commitment to our students and love of his craft as a woodworker and educator have prepared them for the challenges of life beyond the walls of our institution. And whereas, after an outstanding career as a teacher who inspired his colleagues with a zeal for growth as an educator and who inspired his many students with his passionate engagement with his subject, he has decided to retire. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends its heartfelt gratitude for William Mulligan for his many years of service and devotion to our school, and wishes him a happy and healthy retirement to pursue his passions, travel, and whatever adventures lie ahead. And Bill really kept our wood arts program alive. And, you know, the projects that those students make are completely, you know, they're just so impressive and beautiful. And at our arts festival, you probably noticed his, you know, there was furniture that the students made that was always so tempting to sit in, even though there were signs on it to not sit in it. Beautiful Adirondack chairs and other projects. He really helped them make some wonderful creations, and we are certainly going to miss him and wish him all the best as well. So let's give all of our retirees a round of applause. And I'll turn it over to the board members in case there's anything you would like to, any of you would like to say.
Just a quick thing. I want to wish everyone congratulations. I've had personal interactions with many of you and just really thank you for your service to this district and to myself, and really wishing you the best.
I don't want to single anybody out, but I did get a text from my son saying that Mr. Eaton was one of the best teachers I had at Watchung Hills. Sophomore year cinema studies, one of the best classes I've ever taken.
And I would just like to again, congratulate everyone as well, but also particularly Mr. Eaton. I spoke at length when we accepted his resignation, so I won't do that now, but just congratulations, Doug, for everything that you've contributed to the institution. Very honored to have met you and known you, and to have had my kids come through as students of yours. So congratulations on everything. Looking forward for your successful retirement, and actually looking forward to getting you back and on the stage along with everyone else. So congratulations.
And I just want to say, you know, teaching, I feel wholeheartedly is probably one of the most important jobs there could ever be. What's more important than shaping the future, the minds, the perspective of our of our future. So I just want to thank you for, it's not an easy job. It's not the highest paying job sometimes. So, you really have to love it and you really have to care. And so thank you for all of that on behalf of, all the kids and board, of course.
And I also would like to thank each and every one of you because, I've been on this board a number of years, and I repeatedly tell people how proud I am of the school, and I'm proud of the school because of the dedication of our staff members. And I've been privileged to attend a couple of your holiday parties, and I get there and what do I find but staff members talking excitedly about the kids they're teaching. And you guys are really what makes our school great. We on the board try and stay out of your way and provide money, and we're constantly amazed at what you do. We're sorry to be losing you. You've been great members of our staff, and thank you for making Watchung Hills as good as it is.
It's very well said.
Thank you.
All right, I'll just conclude, unless there's anybody else who wants to speak, that obviously retirements are always bittersweet because we're losing years and years of historical perspective and wisdom. And it's just remarkable how long some of you have been in education and have been with us. And that's going to be hard to replace. But I know that all of you have great plans for the future, and we wish you well.
So we'll give you another round of applause. And I personally, in addition to all that you've done for our students, each and every one of you showed such kindness to me when I first started in the district and have since then. And, that will forever leave a mark on me. So I really want to thank you for that. So you may sign off the meeting. If you really want to continue watching it, you can do so on YouTube. Give us a like. We love that now when we get a like. But enjoy the rest of your evening, and really thank you for taking the time to attend and participate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks very much.
Very welcome.
Okay.
So we're not
There are
done
a
yet.
couple more recognitions. You're reading a lot tonight.
We do. Yes. We have 2 more retirees that we get to honor. Okay, so first we have Freddie Hayek. This proclamation, hold on, let me make Freddie our spotlight. You're not off the hook. There we go. This proclamation regarding Freddie Hayek shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Freddie Hayek has served the Watchung Hills Regional High School District as an outstanding board member for 3 years. He was elected in 2017 and became one of the youngest people to serve on a board of education in New Jersey. And who would think you're old enough to retire? And whereas during his tenure, he has served on the Education, Personnel, Alternative Financing, and Strategic Plan committees, sharing his expertise and insights not only as a board member, but also as an alumnus of WHRHS. And whereas he has worked tirelessly for our students with his every decision oriented toward giving students the best possible education, athletic, and co-curricular experience. And whereas he has continuously supported the hiring of outstanding administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, and support staff. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends a heartfelt thank you to Freddie Hayek for his years of devoted service to our school district and wishes him the very best and continued success in his future endeavors. And Freddie, I think we all wish you nothing but success as you now join the Watchung Town Council. And we're so happy. I know I am, that you're continuing to be in public service, especially for our community, because that is only going to benefit us.
Thank you. I really just wanted to thank the district and the board for the opportunity to serve, like I said, my alma mater. And thank you also for the room for growth and the mentorship from the more experienced board members and the members of the district. And again, thank you for all your work you do for the students. I think this is a very challenging time. And I mean, I'm glad to be able to leave knowing that the board members we have and the members of our district really have the students' best interests at heart. So really, again, thank you for these wonderful 3 years.
Thank you, Freddie. Okay. And now we have Ms. Raban. This proclamation regarding Jordana Raban shall be read at the public meeting of the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education on December 8th, 2020. Whereas Jordana Raban has served the Watchung Hills Regional High School District as an outstanding board member for 1.5 years. She was appointed in 2019 to fill a vacant position on the board, helping us to continue working towards providing the best educational experience for our students. And whereas during her tenure, she has served on the Education Committee and as chair of the Strategic Plan Committee, sharing her expertise and insights and continuously looking towards the future to foster creativity, growth, and success for our students. And whereas she has worked tirelessly for our students with her every decision oriented toward giving students the best possible education, athletic, and co-curricular experience. And whereas she has continuously supported the hiring of outstanding administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, and support staff. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Watchung Hills Regional High School Board of Education extends a heartfelt thank you to Jordana Raban for her years of devoted service to our school district and wishes her the very best and continued success in future endeavors. Jordana, we are so appreciative that you were willing to step up and take a role on our board when we had a vacancy. And I know I'd said this at our strategic plan committee meeting. You and Freddie both played key roles in the development of our next strategic plan. And so that's a legacy that both of you are leaving behind. And as chair, I think you ran that process really, really well. And so, you know, please be very proud of the work that you've done in helping us move forward. And you're certainly welcome to stay involved as we continue to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the kind words. It's been a pleasure and an honor to serve for the past 1.5 years. I learned, you know, that's a kind of amazing where you can continue learning every single day when you show up. I'm a big believer in continuous learning, and it definitely, my tenure on the board definitely delivered. So thank you to all. And again, I know I leave with, you know, knowing that we're in good hands in this district. We've got an amazing, dedicated board, and thank you guys all for your service. Like, you know, everybody really appreciates it. Thank you.
All right, thank you both to Freddie and Jordana. I mean, we're gonna miss you. You both did provide a lot of support to us and perspectives from different perspectives that we, you know, some have been on board for years and years and years, and you know, have certain, you know, we have a few attorneys, but we didn't have anybody in marketing. We didn't have a student, so that perspective allows us to work well, and we were really grateful for that.
Thank you to both.
Pleasure to work with you both.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add to that. You know, Freddie, it was great when you were first elected and having to figure out how to have a student board member at the same time. And I think that you really grew into the role. You've always approached things with the best of intentions and with the students in mind, and looking forward to seeing, you know, what you do in your next role, and actually looking forward to seeing you in the State House someday. So good luck with your work in that way. And Jordana, for someone that's been on the board for such a short period of time, you certainly have had an outsized impact. And, you know, someone that was involved with the strategic planning process initially 5 years ago, I can say you just did a stellar job leading this process. And I think part of the legacy that you leave is the quality of the strategic plan that will continue to influence the direction of the district long after you have left your board seat. So thank you very much to both of you.
I would like to echo Bob's comments. I think many board members, when they first join their first term, spend most of the time listening and learning, but both of you went in with 100% commitment plus and had a wonderful impression on the board and influence on the board. And I think we're all much better off for it. Freddie, in particular, I think that your election for another office speaks very, very highly of what kind of respect you've garnered from the community just from that short time on the board. Like Bob, I wish you very well and expect great things.
Thank you.
I also wanted to say that Jordana, it was a pleasure. Here we're neighbors, and I loved getting to know you over the last year. And I was so impressed with how you took control of the strategic plan process, but made it something that we could all contribute to. And it's a wonderful legacy that you leave. And Freddie, it's just not going to be the same coming to those meetings and wondering if you're going to make it all the way up from school or not. And I've really enjoyed working with you. You have such a wonderful heart and such a caring soul, and you are going to go so far in this world. And I'm like so happy that I got to know you, and I look forward to seeing great things from you.
Thank you. I just want to say one thing. Well, it's my last meeting. All these kind words is all a product of the great high school I went to because of the teachers, the board members in the district that drove the opportunities for me. So.
All right.
I want to say something too. So Jordana, our time to get to know each other at the board was really short because of COVID. I think you did a fantastic job with the strategic plan and wanting to up our brand and expose us to new ideas. And Freddie, I wasn't sure how it would work out with you when you first joined. You've done well. And I look forward to harassing you at the Borough Council.
Thanks, Barry. I'll miss sitting
Good
next
job.
to you.
All right, we're done with our recognition portion of the meeting.
All right. Committee reports. Education.
Here we go. So we met on December 1st, and the first item that we discussed was gaggle, and Dr. Jewett did an excellent job summarizing everything that we discussed, so I won't reiterate that at this point in time. We also did talk about the diversity, equity, and inclusion proposal. Dr. Jewett discussed the RFP for our DEI consultant. One of the two proposals received, the district selected the organization called US2 Inc. as the consultant. She reviewed the rationale for the selection of US2, their proposal, and the associated costs. The committee discussed the proposal and incorporating DEI into our curriculum. We also had a discussion around the gender neutral bathroom. Dr. Jewett explained that discussions of having a gender neutral bathroom began about 2 years ago with the GSA. During those conversations, student safety and location of the bathroom were the primary concern. A possible solution to these issues was to convert the ladies' bathroom by the Performing Arts Center that is only used for events, meaning that it's only open when the PAC is doing public events, into a gender-neutral bathroom. It's located near the security desk in the SRO office, so student safety can be monitored. And since the bathroom is already equipped with stalls, the only cost in converting the bathroom would be changing the signage. So the committee suggested that the signage be made very clear and that we, as a district, should be communicating the change to all of the stakeholders. Then we had a discussion led by Mary Ellen Phelan about the New Jersey Quality Single Accountability Continuum, or what they call as NJCUSAC, which is the state's monitoring process where every 3 years districts have to go through a monitoring process by the NJDOE, where they come in and do a deep examination of everything from curriculum to business operations to budget to facilities, and through that process end up, providing scoring on how you do as a district. Our supervisors have been working on revising the curriculum to be in compliance with the CUSAC guidelines. There is a resolution on tonight's agenda for approval of our entire curriculum for all courses. I want to be clear, though, that the content has not changed. However, we had to make some revisions to the formatting and included components in the curriculum guides to be sure that we were in compliance with what the state expected. So we know that a written update was provided to you in the Blue Notes in advance since this was up in short order. But I want to reiterate that there are no changes to the curriculum. We're not adopting new curriculum, but we're adopting our existing curriculum with the updated formatting to coincide with the requirements for CUSAC. As we get into the spring and obviously over the summer, more work will be done regarding new courses and new curriculum and curriculum revisions that we will visit as they become available. We also discussed briefly an update on the 2021-2022 budget. Mr. Size provided an update on the planning. The process is well underway and is following the normal time frame. We went through the timeline and the process, and he spoke with us about the benchmarks that he was using. A copy of that timeline has been provided to all of the board members. The final thing that we discussed was the governor's executive order regarding indoor sports being delayed until January. The executive order only applies to athletics and not co-curricular activities. There was some discussion, that has occurred out into the public about what does that mean for co-curricular activities. And really at this point in time, it only affects ice hockey, as the other sports have already been delayed until January by the NJSIAA. And as I understand it, hockey has now been slated into one of the later winter windows for competition. So those were the items that we discussed. I'll open it up to any of the other committee members to comment further or correct anything that I may have misstated. Barry, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
That was from before. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh. Anyone else? Any committee members or any other members of the board with questions on the Ed Committee report?
Bob, just one question, and combining what Liz explained as well as what you did. What I still don't understand, if a student is using their Chromebook but not logging into Watchung Hills, but simply logging in individually through Wi-Fi connection, is that also being monitored or not?
So we're lucky to have Anthony with us. And Anthony, did you hear that question?
Yes, I did. Yep. So everything that is being monitored by Gaggle or GoGuardian happens only with the Watchung Hills school account. If they're using a personal device connected to a home network or even their cell phone, only the activity used for the Watchung Hills school accounts will be monitored by Gaggle or GoGuardian. Anything else on the device, any other program, text messaging, social media will not be monitored by Gaggle. Actually, yep, go ahead, Liz.
I think what Dr. Shabilsky was asking is on their Chromebook. Now, there's not much they can access on their Chromebook besides Google.
Right, correct.
Anything else that they'd be accessing on their Chromebook that we would or wouldn't be monitoring outside of their
Like, can they get to the internet without going through their school account?
No, to use your Chromebook, you need to use a school account, and there's no option for personal accounts to be added to that.
That answers my question.
I went the long way. Sorry.
That's okay. You're thorough. Thank you, Anthony.
Any other questions on Education Committee? Okay. Personnel. We discussed, I know we discussed most of it in exec, but there might be some, Susan, I'm not sure what you want to report. Oh, you're muted.
Trying to tell me there's some things that I was going to report on that I shouldn't be reporting on?
No. I just always give that caveat. Sorry.
Next time, give me a heads up.
Okay, sorry.
The Personnel Committee met on December 1st, and we were joined by Pamela Kelly, who will be the interim Director of Human Resources, while our current Director of Human Resources, Beth Scheiderman, will be the interim superintendent while Dr. Jewett is on maternity leave. We, in the meeting, discussed current vacancies, and we are happy to say that many of the vacancies are on tonight's agenda for approval, including a new family consumer science teacher to replace Mrs. Busby, although of course Mrs. Busby is irreplaceable, but this is, we do have a new consumer science teacher, and also an English leave replacement teacher. And we do have a possible candidate to fill the Wood Arts position. And another item of note is the retirement at the end of the year of Dr. Fenstemaker, a biology teacher. And one final positive note was that on tonight's agenda, we only have one approval for emergency paid sick leave. So that was a relief to see from compared with past approvals. We also talked about the RFP for our DEI professional development vendor, and reviewed the specifics of US2 Consulting's proposal, their costs, and we agreed that given the scope of their services and the emphasis we have on DEI in our strategic plan, that the proposal made sense for us. I don't know if this is public, but we talked about the Lions Club, I believe, is making sorry.
No, Susan, we're talking, I just don't know if we should announce it until it's
Okay.
what you can mention is that the Lions Club would like to support our DEI efforts.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Stiles was there and talked about starting the budget process, and we reviewed the timeline. And then we ended on a bittersweet note because we realized it was Freddie's last personnel meeting with us. And again, we wish him, thanked him for his years of service, and wish him well in his future endeavors. And anybody have anything else to add? Or any questions? That's my report.
All right, great. All right, operations.
Operations, this is going to recycle a lot of what we heard from Bob and from Susan, because we spent the first part of our meeting, Tim leading us through the RFP situation for the DEI consultant, and explained to us that the committee that had been set up to review that included Dr. Jewett, Beth Scheiderman, Mary Ellen Phelan, Justin Sabatino, and Tim Stiles. Went through the scoring on that. There was also a fairly complete discussion by us concerning questions regarding possible additional costs, which there don't seem to be any because it looks like all this training is going to be virtual, and the idea that some of the training is going to be set up so that it can be turnkeyed, so that some of our staff members will then be able to train other staff members from what US Squared is going to be providing. We also had a construction update. Tim talked about that a little bit today. I got over to the school this morning and took a look at the media center, and all I can say is wow, it is utterly amazing. Tim said it briefly. Kudos to our architects, to Chris Bick and his crew. The space is amazing. It can be used for a whole lot of things. It's got some flexibility to it, and when we get in there, I think you're all going to be amazed to see it. We then went through the same sort of budget update that Bob had mentioned, a brief review of the budget, timelines, that sort of thing. We also covered one other thing, And that is, we went over with Tim a number of things in this year's budget that he's not yet spending the money on because he's waiting to see, just how extensive our COVID expenses are going to be. As Tim has been over the years, he's been conservative in this and he's held back spending on a number of items. He expects that many of them will go through before the end of the year, but he's just being careful until we know exactly what we're going to be spending on COVID with respect to that. A couple other matters that came up subsequent to the meeting. You'll see that on the bill list that we're approving tonight, there's a $50,000 item for CDW, one of our computer suppliers. I asked Tim about what that was, and he explained that it's for 500 annual licenses for virtual desktops. And I'll let Tim or Barry say a little bit more about what virtual desktops are, because I have an idea, but I don't know that I could convey it quite accurately.
Well, I could start. And we have Anthony, fortunately, to cover my
That's true.
my technological shortfalls. But yeah, so I know when I access the virtual desktop, it allows me to access my desktop as if I were in the office. So if I need to get to Systems 3000, which is our budget software, or if I need to get to some of the other applications, I can do so by accessing the virtual desktop. And that same luxury is allowed to all of our staff, a number of our students who need to access applications, and I think they're in our labs as well. Even though I know the labs, we haven't used them as much as we have, and we're certainly not up to capacity. But I know we have a number of labs where they would need that as well. Even though we're in the building, it sounds strange, but I don't know. Anthony, is that an accurate description?
Yes, that is an accurate description. The computer labs, while they now may be physically being used this year, the students in those classes through their Chromebooks are accessing the virtual machines to complete work in Windows applications such as Photoshop, Inventor, AutoCAD related programs that they may not be able to do on their own Chromebook.
Anthony, is the 500 licenses, is that where we are? I mean, I know this year is an odd year, but like we have about 200 and some staff members. We have, almost 2,000 students. Is that something you're looking at?
Yes, we are looking at lowering that number down to about 350. That 500 is concurrent users, so we rarely ever get that high. And this year we have not seen that as well. And we believe due to some of the different curriculum changes and web applications that are now available on Chromebooks, we may not need to have that many number of virtual machines. So we're probably going to lower that number down to about 350 for next budget year.
Because essentially, if you have a Chromebook, you don't need to use the desktop unless you need the software on a desktop that isn't on your Chromebook?
Correct. Yeah. So think of Microsoft Office or some Photoshop or some other design program that's not available yet through the web or through the Chromebook itself.
Okay. Because it lives on our system and you have to
Yes.
access our system. Okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. Any other questions on it? The other matter that came up subsequent to the Operations Committee meeting was also in going through the bill list. I noticed there were quite a number of different checks being cut to different entities that all referenced media center furniture. I asked Tim about that. Tim explained that while we ordered them all through Danker, and that's why each of these lines says that the payment is to ABC Company, care of Danker. It was all coordinated through that entity, but there's about $314,000 worth of furniture on this year's bill list, which is, it was all over the place in different amounts. That's why it piqued my interest, but that's Tim's explanation. I think that's correct, Tim.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And that's it for operations unless Greg or Naresh or Barry have anything to add.
Okay,
Nothing that.
all righty. Thank you. Any questions on operations from anybody before we move on? Okay. We are now at the first opportunity for public comment. The first public comment period is limited to agenda items for this meeting only. The second public comment period will be open to any topic. All comments are limited to 5 minutes. So if you are watching us on YouTube, there is a separate link that you can click onto so that we can admit you to our Zoom meeting and you can provide your comment. We're going to give you a few minutes to do that. Please remember when you are recognized to state your name and the town you're from. You're muted.
We have one person in the waiting room, and I'm not sure if they're there to make a public comment or not, but I will let them in.
Okay.
We will find out. So I have just let in Dennis iPhone. Can you please identify yourself? And I've let you in. This is the public comment portion of the meeting. So I'm assuming you have a public comment to make. So the person that I just let into the meeting, if you can hear us, I'm only letting people in not to watch the meeting, but to make a public comment. This is the public comment portion. Do you have a public comment to make?
No.
Oh, so you should be utilizing our YouTube link, which is posted on our district homepage. So you can view the meeting via our YouTube link.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we do have 2 other people, or one other person that's waiting in our waiting room who I happen to know, who we all happen to know.
Yeah.
So is this
Jed,
our first
go ahead
public
and share your
comment in
public
Zoom?
comment.
I have a question more than it is a
Okay,
public
so we
comment.
do have 2 other people.
You have to shut off the YouTube.
Oh,
waiting room who I
sorry.
happen to know. It's very
You're right.
disconcerting to hear myself repeated.
Sorry about that. So I have more questions regarding Gaggle. I know I'm not alone in terms of students. I don't really use my Chromebook all that often. I mainly use my school computer. So you can have more than one account, like Google account on your computer. So my Watching Hills account is one of my many accounts that I have logged in. So how deep do they go into my computer, basically, is what I'm asking. Because can they see my activity that I'm doing when I'm on, say, my personal email, even though my school email is still logged in?
The only thing that we monitor is your Watchung Hills account, nothing else.
Okay, so just the activity on that and nothing else.
Absolutely correct.
Cool. That's really all. Thank you so much.
No, and thank you for asking that clarifying question, Jed. I appreciate that. And just so the rest of the board knows, our 2 board reps were very helpful in regard to this conversation, because I had reached out to them when we were planning for the meeting and asked them to share what questions they were hearing in addition to some of the questions we were getting. So from a student perspective, both Carly and Jed shared with me some insights from the student side, which helped me prepare my comments for tonight. So thank you to both you and Carly for that.
Thank you.
And we have no one else in our waiting room.
Okay. I'm going to close the first opportunity for public comment. And then we have board discussion. I kind of left this open to see if there was any more discussion with regard to the board goals. As you can see, they're on for approval at A4. And then we had some action items that we talked about last time. The going forward for the next year, starting in January, we need to focus on these, I think it might be a good idea that we continually have this maybe as an agenda item, like we talked about under board discussion, because otherwise we lose it. But right now, just to recap in terms of the action items, one is with regard to the study for regionalization. So we'll have to, I mean, that action requires a lot of different actions, right? So we have to, I don't know if that requires a committee, but I think we all have to talk about like how to move that one forward in the most expeditious way. It does require administrations and the board to kind of work together on that. The second one is the action item that really relates to the strategic plan with the survey, so that we can get information in that survey that helps us enhance our communication practices. And then the last one is the mentorship structure, which we talked about also moving forward, especially with our 2 new board members. So those mentors will have to be assigned as we move forward into next year. So my suggestion is just to continue to kind of put that on the agendas under board discussion each meeting so that we don't lose track if possible.
Do we want to do it both meetings per month or just one meeting per month where it's a check-in about them, either the work session meeting or the business session? Just so we know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess one meeting is fine. What does everybody think?
I think it makes sense for the work session.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay.
So for the work session meeting, we will put, we'll just put BOE goals under board discussion for each work session meeting. And I had drafted those action items under the goals that I'll send Greg to you and Rita, just so you can take a look, and then we can include those in the blue notes each week. And perhaps that's where we can also include some updates, of activity that's happened towards them. So
Okay.
we can work on that structure.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, because otherwise, if we don't have accountability, just like everything else we do, gets lost. Any other board discussion? We don't really have anything in particular under that agenda, but is there anything else? Anybody? Okay. All right, so we're at action items.
Madam President, I'd like to move resolutions A1 through A5.
Second.
Any questions or comments from A1 through A5? All right, seeing none, Mr. Stiles, roll call, please.
Was Bob the one who made the second on that?
Yeah.
I did indeed.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, Dr. Chand?
Yes.
Mr. Fallon?
No on A3, yes on everything else.
Peter,
mandatory policy.
I know that all is right in the world when you vote no on that, so it comforts me actually.
Mr. Hayek?
Yes.
I can't see you. Okay. Mr. Hunsinger?
Yes.
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Ober?
Yes.
Ms. Potter?
Yes.
Dr. Shabilsky?
Yeah.
Ms. Raban?
Yes.
And Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Motion's carry.
Madam President, I'd like to move resolutions A6 and A7.
Second.
Any questions or comments on A6 and A7? Seeing none, Mr. Stiles, roll call, please.
Okay, Dr. Chand?
Yes.
Mr. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Hayek?
Yes.
Mr. Hunsinger?
Yes.
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Ober?
Yes.
Dr. Shabilsky?
Yeah.
Ms. Raban?
Yes.
And Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Okay, motion's carry.
Madam President, I'd like to move resolution B1.
Second.
Any questions or comments on B1? Okay, roll call, please.
Dr. Chand?
Yes.
Mr. Fallon?
Yes.
Mr. Hayek?
Yes.
Mr. Hunsinger?
Yes.
Mr. Morrison?
Yes.
Mrs. Ober,
Yes.
Ms. Potter,
Yes.
Dr. Shabilsky,
Yes.
Ms. Raban,
Yes.
and Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Motion's carry.
Madam President, I'd like to move resolutions C1 to C9.
Second.
Any questions or comments on C1 through C9?
I think there's an error on C7.
Okay.
The date should be, it says September 29,
Uh,
2020.
It should be
January
say
31st.
2021, I think.
Oh, 2021.
Yeah, so there's an error there.
Thank you. Do we need to like remove that one? Because we're making that edit, or it doesn't matter?
You want to just do it as, just say as revised?
Yes, as revised.
Okay.
Because that's a minor thing.
Yep.
Thank you, Naresh.
Any other questions or comments? All right, roll call, please.
Dr. Chand,
Yes.
Mr. Fallon,
Yes.
Mr. Hayek,
Yes.
Mr. Hunsinger,
Yes.
Mr. Morrison,
Yes.
Mrs. Ober,
Yes.
Ms. Potter,
Yes.
Dr. Shabilsky,
Yes.
Ms. Raban,
Yes.
and Ms. Brown.
Yes.
Okay, motion's carry.
Madam President, I'd like to move resolutions D1 through D8.
Second.
Any questions or comments from D1 through D8?
Yes, Madam President. I'd just like to address D7 briefly. This is the sending out for an RFP for a solar ESCO. And I had discussed that with Tim, and it's my understanding that basically this process it's going to be similar to when we did an RFP for an energy savings company in general. This one will be just for solar to work with Honeywell, who's our ESCO, and that once we choose one after going through an RFP procedure, then they will come up with recommendations to us for solar, and that's when the board will have input as to exactly what the solar project's going to look like. And I just wanted the rest of the board to be aware of that.
Understood.
Yep.
I would like to make a comment here. The solar system, when you want to deploy it, the solar company does everything. I hope that we don't hire multiple layer of architect to design things that would add the cost, because the solar companies have all the software tools, they do everything. So that's what I would suggest, that we don't end up hiring, another architect or end up paying for design to Honeywell, anything for this. Solar company will do everything, including getting a permit from the township.
One of the things, Naresh, that I'm looking for in this is which of various solar technologies and which of various products is the one that we should be specifying and using. And that's what I'm less sure than you are, that by going to one solar company that we would get the answer for that.
Well, it's answered very simple. We need to have a highly efficient solar system, right, which converts more solar energy to more electricity, right? And for that, we need to go for single crystal silicon. There are thin film, there are many things, but there are a lot of issues with them. So this is, I have a solar system on my roof. I have done a lot of study on that. So it's not a rocket science here, So we need to go for monocrystal silicon, highly efficient solar system. And there are a couple of things we can discuss offline, those things, so I can help, on this project. So earlier what happened that if you have like 20 panels in one string, if one panel doesn't work, then all of them do not work. Now the new technology allows that they can isolate that particular panel so that the remaining 19 work. So we had to get the latest, the solar company has to provide the latest technology. So a lot of new innovations have taken place in the solar system. So we should not settle anything, which is second to best. And the solar company knows all of that.
Tim, the other question I wanted to ask is, you had mentioned wanting to put together a committee to review this RFP. is that something we can put off till another meeting or two? Do you need that now?
No, we can put that off because they got to do the RFP first and then we make the selection. So, I mean, I was going to suggest that we do an operations committee meeting
Okay.
and have
Discuss it.
essentially a subcommittee like we did last time.
Thank you. That's all I had, Rita.
Okay, and just so I'm clear, so what I see here is that Honeywell drafts the solar RFP, right?
Mhm.
And then Spiesel has to submit the project once we get the person from that RFP to the planning board? Is that what Spiesel's doing? Number 3, paragraph 3 is where I'm a little confused.
Right. So you still got to, it's still a project. You still got to go through all the paperwork. So you still need the architect to update the long range facility plan accordingly. It's all the
Okay. In
over
order
paperwork
for,
that we have
okay,
to do.
understood. But there isn't like, Spiesel's not gonna design the solar
No,
project.
Spiesel's role is of an expert in, the solar company will design exactly what Naresh was saying. But what Spiesel has to do is Spiesel understands and knows our roofs. Spiesel understands and knows the units that are around the building. So they at least have to review to make sure we're not putting on a roof that really shouldn't have solar, although most of our roofs are pretty good for it. But
Okay.
they'll know
So they're
more
like a
than
consultant.
right.
Okay. Consulting.
They know our
firm.
building.
Okay. All right. I just want to be clear. Any
Right.
other questions or comments? D1 through D9. 8. Sorry. 8. All right. Seeing none, roll call, please, Mr. Stice.
Dr. Chand,
Yes.
Mr. Fallon,
Abstain on D2, yes on everything else.
okay, Mr. Hayek,
Yes.
okay, Mr. Hunsinger,
Yes.
Mr. Morrison,
Yes.
Mrs. Ober,
Yes.
Ms. Potter,
Yes.
Dr. Shabilsky,
Yes.
Ms. Raban,
Yes.
and Ms. Barone.
Yes.
Okay, motions carry.
We're now at the second opportunity for public comment. Again, if you would like to make a comment on something not related to our agenda items, please log into Zoom. And we will admit you and you can state your name and where you're from and provide your comment. Nobody, huh?
We have no one in the waiting room.
Okay. We're getting boring again, which is good. All righty. All right, if anybody, obviously you can provide your comments also by email if you're having a trouble with the links. Other business. I just wanted to let you know, we met today with our Long Hill board member. And she will be attending our January 5th meeting. It's a little weird in terms of the criminal background checks because of the late certification of the elections. So she does have 30 days. So I think she can attend even if she doesn't get her criminal background check back by then. But she was, she has to go through that process. So she should be here. Janine, I think you will still be coming. At least it's our understanding that you have a full year, so you don't have to get reappointed.
I have 2 more years.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, in each year they have to reappoint the liaison, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be it.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody else wants it. No. Well, I'm the only one with a high schooler, so it's the only one. I'm the only one that makes sense.
All right, cool, great. And then we're meeting with Mr. Help me with his name, Liz.
Mr. Bernberg tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. and just basically kind of getting them just a little, it was just a 45-minute meeting, just trying to explain the processes of, how we do our electronic information and that kind of thing, and how we do our meetings now. They're on Zoom. There's more things to kind of talk about in terms of that. And then, reminding them that at least Long Hill, I'm not clear on the new Watchung, if he's got to go through governance 1, 2, and 3, because he was on Milburn's Board of Education before. So, but whatever, everybody, whatever training they have to do, getting logged into New Jersey School Boards Association, all that stuff we just went through. We're obviously, the swearing in will be done virtually. So Tim explained exactly how that would happen as well. And then I don't know if anybody has, I was sort of thinking, unless somebody else wants to, that I would mentor Ms. Prada from Long Hill, if I could get her name right. Unless somebody else, and then we need somebody, I don't know, it doesn't have to be somebody from the town. But so Barry, I don't know if you feel like you wanted to be the mentor, but think about who.
I don't mind. I don't know him, but I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody knows him, right? He's new in town, right? I think he just moved to Watchung a few years ago, or a year.
I know he's a lawyer.
Yes, he's a family lawyer. That's what I know too.
I used to live in Milburn before I came out here, and I did speak with him after he put in his petition.
Okay, all right. So
we've already exceeded our quota. We've exceeded our quota of lawyers.
Agreed.
Let's get some more engineers on here.
Is that one?
I know the perspective. We're losing like 2 perspectives of non-lawyers. Gaining another perspective of a lawyer.
We're losing an alum and gaining an alum. So we're swapping.
That's true. That's true. That's good. Yep, that's true. That's true. Okay, so that was the only stuff I had for other business. I don't know if anybody else. Okay.
Wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
That's right.
Yes.
And Liz, good luck. Dr. Jewett.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, Liz.
Yes,
good luck.
Thank you, everyone. I know I'm leaving everything in good hands, and I'll certainly keep you updated. I can't decide at this point whether he's just being cooperative, knowing that I like timelines and schedules, or if he's being stubborn. So it's one or the other.
A little of both.
Liz, what is the actual due date?
Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
So close.
So they just get you in, right? Like you're not allowed to go into labor anymore. You have to like schedule it.
It's actually very, very funny because if I don't, if it doesn't happen before then, yes, I'm scheduled for Friday. So
yeah,
it's a very odd thing.
because of COVID, I guess, right?
Oh my God.
Just in general, but they're very big on scheduling now.
Yeah.
So, and
she did tell me that she gave, I told you guys, Beth and Tim, to call her, but I did tell her that that's not a good idea.
Well, not while I'm in the hospital delivering, but
I think Beth knows that.
Not at all.
Is it text okay during that? No.
No.
I
She won't be able to
videos
find
out.
her electronic devices.
Right.
It's all diapers and everything else.
No, thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all the support and
And I'm assuming we're going to get some contact as soon as it happens, right?
I will let you all know. I won't leave you wondering. Yes.
And I'm also going to wish good luck to Beth.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, good luck.
She won't need it.
No.
I am part of a terrific
agree.
team, so thank you.
Beth will be fine.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
Thanks.
Freddie, on to bigger and better things.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Jordana, take care.
Thank
Hey,
you.
maybe Freddie gets to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Second.
All right, everybody. Good night. Have a good holiday.
Night.
Wonderful.